Welcome back. Shortly after starting my community, I had everyone share affirmations. Someone shared this following affirmation: I live in a friendly universe designed to serve me. As soon as that happened, I had red flags go off in my head. Why? Because I just went through 2 years of yeshiva in Israel, going through a spiritual experience, getting rid of that energy. When I first started doing affirmations, I was focused on myself. I wanted to get so much from the universe. I wanted to become a millionaire and get the most beautiful wife, and I wanted all these things, these objects. I wanted to get. I wanted the universe to bend to my will. In fact, I was reading books like power and influence books, trying to learn how can I almost like manipulate and gain a competitive advantage over other people, which was really messed up, honestly, thinking about it right now. But what was going on in there? There was fundamentally something that was going on inside of me that I changed. And I want you to watch this now so you don't have to waste those 2 years. And in this video, we're going to be going over several sources. Some are spiritual, some are secular, and some I created on my own, just to show you the gamut of why it's so important to be a giver and not a taker. First off, we have Tony Robbins' 6 human needs. The first 4 are physical needs. It's certainty, which is knowing what's coming, predictability, having a lot of money. Then we have significance, which is being famous, having a lot of likes and subscribers. Then we have variety, which is the third one. If things get too certain and too predictable, they get boring. Then we need variety in our lives. But if we have too much variety, so it's always a balance between certainty and variety. And the fourth one is love and connection. Most people want love, but they settle for connection. It's having this relationship aspect. And then we go into the spiritual needs, which is growth and contribution. You guessed it, the last one is to give. The ultimate purpose in this reality, according to Tony Robbins, is to contribute, is to serve something greater than yourself. When you're affirming things in this attitude of what can I get, you're not living life in the highest version of yourself. See, God is the ultimate giver, and our goal is to align ourselves and to be like God as much as possible. One of the first commandments given to humans when the world was created is Peru viravu, which is be fruitful and multiply. We're supposed to eventually get out of ourselves and multiply, have children, plant, do agriculture. I'm here in a park right now. You can see many trees behind me. That's a great example of multiplying, being outside of yourself. If you're just focused on yourself, you're never going to multiply because you're not aligning your will with what God wants. Which brings me on to my next point. There's a famous saying in the Torah that proves this, where it says, Osei ratzono kiratzoncha, kidei shiaseh ratzonecha kiratzono. Let me translate. Do His will, do God's will as though it were your will, so that He will do your will as if it were His will. That, in a nutshell, is the cheat code for life. If you want something in this world, you have to do it in a way that is aligned with God's will. And now that begs the question, what is God's will? One of the famous commentaries on this phrase, the Maharal, investigated this statement. And he asked that question, what is God's will? He found out in David's Psalms where this source was. It says, Ve'ani tefilasi Hashem eis ratzon. As for me, my prayer come to you, O Lord, at a favorable moment. Now, what is this favorable moment? He explains, it's the time at which the community comes together. That's a huge foundation. I lived most of my life alone. From all the challenges I went through, one after another, I felt more and more ostracized, more alone, and I would isolate myself, and I would be like this independent person. I would be very, very individualized. And by the way, living in America, where I live, they really preach the individual. But the highest level is to take your individuality, your purpose, and plug it back into the community. See, God's will, as we say, we're trying to be like God and be His will in order to get our will in return. It's to plug back into a community. It's to serve. Once again, it's to contribute. So the highest level is to be a giver, is to contribute. And this is why in one of our core prayers, the Amida, or the silent prayer, everything is in the we form. See, when we're doing affirmations in Judaism, we're looking out for everyone. We're not just looking out for ourselves. And this was a very difficult thing for me to adapt to when I started praying. I used to say all my affirmations and everything I would do in the singular because I wanted to attract a certain life for myself. But I was thinking small. I wasn't thinking about others. And this forced me, when I'm saying the silent Amida, it forced me to look out for everyone in different areas of life, for refuah, or for health, for prosperity, for all the things you want for yourself, praying for other people. And what's interesting is that you're included in the other people. When you attach yourself to the community attaches back to you also spiritually. So if you're looking out for your brother, you're also going to be looked out for as well. And after 2 years of grueling work on myself, I started to understand that that is the highest level. When it comes to affirmations or it comes to attracting in your life, when you look out for other people, you actually get what you want in return, and the other person gets what they want. Of course, you're doing a great thing. I have another source for you. Desler says in his famous book, Strive for Truth, that there are two types of people, givers and takers. And this is so good, I have to read it for you directly out of here. It's so worth it. When the Almighty created human beings, He made them capable of both giving and taking. The faculty of giving is a sublime power. It is one of the attributes of the blessed Creator of all things. He is the giver par excellence. His mercy, His bounty, and His goodness extend to all His creatures. His giving is pure giving, for He takes nothing in return. He can take nothing, for He lacks nothing. As the verse says, if you are righteous, what do you give to Him? Our service to Him is not for His need, but for our own, since we need a means of expressing our gratitude to Him. Man has been granted with this sublime power of giving, enabling him to be merciful, to bestow happiness, to give of himself. God created man in His own image. On the other side stands the faculty of taking, by which a person aspires to draw himself all that comes within his reach. This is what people call egotism or selfishness. It is the root of all evils of the world. These two powers, giving and taking, form the roots of all character traits and all actions. That is a powerful statement. And note, there is no middle way. Every person is devoted, at the deepest level of his personality, to one or the other of these two sides. And in the innermost longing of the heart, there are no compromises. It is a basic law that there is no middle path of inhuman interest. In every aspect, in every word, in every thought, one is always devoted either to loving kindness and giving or to grasping and taking. In everything that we do, we're either doing one of these activities. We're either giving or taking. And if we want to be like God, if we want to align ourselves with His will, if we want what we want, then we have to embrace being a giver. That's really the secret of life. When we're born, when we're babies, we're born takers. We're crying, we're useless. All we can do is receive. But as we grow up, as we mature, we become more and more able to be independent, stand on our own feet, and give back. Some people get stuck on standing on their own feet and they never go to the giving back part, which is a complete oversight in my opinion. There's a saying, if you want to go fast, go by yourself. But if you want to go far, go with someone else. It really does take a community to do anything great. In fact, I wouldn't even be here today without the community, the YouTube community. So thank you to Fly Girl Manifested. Please check out her channel. When my channel started picking up, she made a reaction video on my original challenge, and because she just helped me for no reason at all, I am now in front of you today. So I owe it to her, the rest of the community, and to you for being here. Now for the last source, I want to show something I created a couple years ago called the Sphere of Happiness. And in the middle, you'll see depression, and on the outside, you'll see joy or happiness. In the center is taking, on the outside is giving. I was inspired to create this after I went through my first real bad breakup after college. I was so depressed, I had no friends, and I couldn't stop thinking. I was even getting suicidal at certain points, if I'm gonna be completely vulnerable with you. I call up my brother and I tell him, I don't know if I can take it. He said, I want you to get off the phone and I want you to find the nearest place to volunteer right now. And I said, why? He said, don't ask, just do it. So I said, fine. I get off the phone and I go to the local old home that's in my neighborhood. I start volunteering, and like that, my depression went away because I committed myself to giving. And furthermore, I committed myself to a community, to something greater than me. I got out of my head, I got out of my ego, and I was in bliss. I'm giving you the secret right now. The more you commit to giving, serving, and contributing, and thinking outside of yourself, that's the secret to living a meaningful, spiritual, happy life. I can already anticipate in the comments people saying, but I'm broke, I'm depressed, I have all these things, I haven't even figured out my problems yet. I understand. Me too. I have all kinds of lacks and needs as well. But committing your mindset to a higher cause, knowing that you will fill all of these lacks as long as you commit and contribute along the way, it just changes the quality of your life in the present. So what advice did I give to the person who said the following affirmation? I live in a friendly world that is designed to serve me. I helped him modify it to, I live in a friendly world that I'm honored and grateful to be able to serve. And now he's manifesting what he wants while serving something greater than himself. I'm super excited to be announcing our first challenge happening this Sunday in our private community. If you haven't joined, make sure to join. The link is in the description. We're gonna actually have a 3-part challenge. So there's gonna be a morning, afternoon, and evening Zoom call. They're gonna be 1 hour each. And for those hours, we're gonna be with each other while we recite one affirmation focused on improving one area of our life. And you get to choose which affirmation is best for you. If you're stuck, we can provide one for you as well. Then on Monday, we're gonna rehash how our lives improved from that experience. I wanted to start with something easy before we ramp up to something like the 10-hour challenge that I did, just to see if we can get a rhythm going. So if that's something that's interesting to you, make sure to sign up below. And with that, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next upload.